All right, I think we've waited long enough for to get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a live stream of Interea. So, this time, I'm going to let everyone know you can't blame. This time, I'm going to let everyone know you can't blame me for this one. I haven't played this since July of 2021. And for once, it's not my fault. It's not that I've been busy. This visual novel literally just got updated yesterday. This visual novel just got updated yesterday. Very, very slow update. I think the Patreons got it a little earlier, but they just publicly updated this 6 months ago. So I'm excited to play it. I'm really happy that they finally got into it. We're gonna be having a good time. I hope. I think we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna be having a good time with this. I'm finally happy to get back into the world of Adastra. Once again, I do want to just give a quick disclaimer before we get started. This is a not quite sequel to Adastra. This takes place around the ending of Adastra. So if you haven't watched or played Adastra, I would strongly recommend not playing this because it will be a lot of spoilers, I am sure. But I am really excited to play this. Despite my issues with Adastra, so far the little bit I played of Interea was a lot of fun, and the writing seemed a lot better. So I'm really hoping that things continue to be that way. So with any further ado, we're going to leave the screen and get started. And yeah, July 5th was the last time. I just played it recently just to make another save file for today's live stream. But yeah, July 5th was the last time I played this. So, without any further ado, let's get started. I just want to make sure everything's set up. Okay, we're good. Alright, and we're going to start with the last one. No, we'll, there we go. Okay, we're fine now. And you haven't. I try to adjust to the feeling of speaking without having a throat to speak with. At least I can't be manually silenced with my synthetic vocal cords. The dragon stares back at me with his typical unfazed static stare. Sorry, Lightwing. I'm trying to hang in there, Lightwing. I haven't really been feeling the best the last few days. I've been a little down in the dumps, to say the least. But, I found out yesterday that the Interea was updated thanks to Dirk the Red Panda. He uploaded a surprise stream, and then I was like, well, I guess I'll do that tomorrow. Because today I actually was going to stream something else. Not quite as fun as this, I promise. But I was like, I'm gonna, maybe I'll stream. But then I was like, I can stream Interea. It is not I who makes the decision. I don't care, I'm not doing this again. What? Again, I cut him off. Do you have your own thoughts, feelings, stuff like that? There's a moment of silence that tells me that he does indeed have his own feelings that are clearly annoyed right now. That is not important. It is when you're the only one I can talk to about the parents. What's going on? Why are we doing this again? Doing what again? This whole song and dance where I listen to your don't do this, don't do that advice, and then proceed to die. And then claim that you didn't foresee this happening or whatever. There's another pause as if he's waiting to see if my outburst is finished. You never died. You simply came close to expiring, but were then saved by parental benevolence. No, I don't think he got to upload it yet, Lion Wing. Like I said, Dirk did, and I'm doing it now. So he'll probably, I get the feeling he'll probably either do it later today or maybe tomorrow. Probably more tomorrow. I think he has to work today, so but definitely sometime this week, within the next few days, he's probably gonna upload his own stream of this. Silence follows once again, but this time it's from my end while I stare at the being in front of me. At least I give him the feeling of being stared at. I haven't summoned a body this time, not really being in the mood to do so. Instead, I just float in the void, watching him from seemingly every angle at once. General Bogo, they are another furry visual novel streamer. They're also a good friend of mine. You can check them out. He's a really cool guy. He does a lot of he plays a lot of similar visual novels that I do, but he also has played a lot other ones that I haven't touched yet. If you like Far Beyond the World, he's played Far Beyond the World. He's currently playing a furry game that's called Backbone, and I'm trying to think what else he's done. But like we do pretty different visual novels, but we're good friends. We talk in our free time when we can. Oh, thank you, Lionwing. I had a lot of fun. I loved voicing. Oh, what was his name? Oh, I hate it. What was his name? I really like doing that voice though. Hold on. I'm gonna cheat very quickly. I'm gonna look up what that otter's name was. Give me like 2 seconds, everyone. I promise. We're gonna get through this today. I promise. It's not gonna be a long stream. I think Dirk finished in like a little less than 2 hours, so this probably won't be a long stream. But I'm curious. I'm gonna see what the character's name was. Cliff. Oh, it was Cliff. It was Cliff. You know, Cliff was so adorable, and I really liked playing him a lot. Yeah, Cliff was cute. I liked him. I have to play Smoke Room. I will play Smoke Room eventually. I promise. No. That wasn't Todd. That was Cliff. I don't think there was anybody named Todd. It's hard to describe how things look in this state, but it's more of a feeling rather than being physically present. For the first time, I sense what feels like discomfort from him, or maybe it's embarrassment. Whatever it is, I rather enjoy it. So what is it that you want? Why have you forced me to intervene? You already know the answer to that. Well, yes, but putting thoughts into words is important for clarity. Even the parents still communicate with words. It's an odd thought, imagining the parents talking to one another. I guess it's hard to imagine anything involving them when I don't know where or even when they are. I sigh mentally as I focus on putting my concerns into words, at the same time realizing how the monitor is right in that I need to better organize my feelings to get my point across. Well, first of all, I want to know what the plan is. Why shouldn't I give that speech? I sense a flash of irritation mixed with what feels like a feeling of helplessness from the dragon. You know as well as I do that I cannot tell you that. I do know that, and I wonder if all of this reality is futile. All of this really is futile. Hello, DJ. I'll just call you DJ for short. Then I'm not following the plan. With the way things turned out last time, it's clear you have no idea what you're doing. So maybe if I do the opposite of what you want, this time I'll survive. I sense another burst of annoyance from the ethereal being. The issue, Mark, is that I myself do not know how the future might play out. I am only a messenger. Then ask them. That's the whole point of your existence, right? To communicate with the parents and act as a bridge between them and us. They will not tell me. Have you tried? Many times. Then I'm just going to do what I want, and I'll start by telling Alex what the plans are regarding his future. Mark. The monitor seems to heave a heavy sigh that I can almost hear. The parents only aim to help you. Killing you is exactly what they are trying to avoid. I don't know. Who is a cute wolf, Lion Wing? You gotta tell me. Also, hello, Simon. How are you doing? They did a terrible job of that last time. They are not perfect. Time is a delicate thing to try to manipulate. They may see it as a whole, but as soon as disruption occurs, unseen consequences occur. When such things happen, there is less time to alter it back to a safe state. Then maybe I should disrupt things now, early on. That would give them plenty of time to fix the future kinks, right? Now you are being difficult for the sake of it. Well, yeah, I'm tired of this. It's bad enough that I'm practically a puppet, but it's a whole lot worse when the puppet masters don't seem to actually have any control. The monitor doesn't say anything, and we just stare at one another for what seems like a long time. I don't worry about what's happening on my plane of existence. I imagine that time is moving so slowly that when I return, I'll be in that same moment, walking towards Alex. It is not my place. I see one of his fin-like ears twitch, as if he's heard something that I can't. Maybe a warning? If I were to hazard a guess, it would be that great harm would come upon you if you were to proceed with the speech in lupus. I feel like that's an obvious guess. Then why go against their advice? The monitor seems to have temporarily given up on waiting for me to form words. Well, to provoke this into happening, first of all. Well, you succeeded, as you can see. Second of all, what about Alex? Why am I not allowed to warn him of what's happening? Hold on, I didn't realize my phone wasn't on silent. So, there we go. Okay. My phone was going off like crazy. I'm like, okay, I gotta mute my phone. I do not know the answer to that, Mark. Just that it is not in their plan. This time I hear a growl under his words, and I'm a bit surprised by the amount of emotion I'm eliciting from this creature. It reminds me that maybe he's more on my side of the bridge rather than the parents. I thought the parents valued life above all else. Well, not if that life is a threat to a greater quantity of life. I don't even like Alex. Like, the things I don't understand, like, Mark kind of is pissing me off because Marco, canon name is Marco. Why would you want to save Alex? Like, Alex has betrayed Adastra so many times, and it's like, why are you trying to help him? Like, he's almost the reason you got killed. He's the reason that Cassius got poisoned, and as much as I don't like Cassius, he's the reason that Cato. He's the reason that Cato almost managed to kill Cassius and almost kill Amicus. It's like, why would you care for him? Like, I don't care for Alex. Like, I'd be like execute him. Like, go ahead, execute Alex. Like, who cares? Also, hello, anime. They took control of my voice. I should at least have the freedom to say what I want. The monitor closes his eyes in a way that tells me he's finally receiving direct communication. Then risk jeopardizing the millennia-long mission you are integral to. His voice is cold and flat. Finally, I feel fully defeated. Powerless, like I've felt ever since Amicus kidnapped me from my bedroom in Rome. I'm just a puppet, and if that's the case, it's hard to understand why I'm involved in any of this at all. The monitor opens his eyes and stares back at me, and I see what almost looks like sympathy. Neferu? I like Neferu too. I like Neferu and Amicus easily. Those are the two I like. The rest I don't like. They're the only two I like so far that I've seen in the Adastra universe. The bear, I forget his name. The bear looked kind of cool too. Well, I think a lot of people have the hots for Amicus. It's pretty obvious when you type in on Google or Bing, you're like, yeah, Amicus, and it just gives you like a whole bunch of stuff. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Amicus is the most liked one, but I like Neferu too. Oh wait, I think I skipped something. I know it may seem unfair, and it truly is, but the parents are making it a great But the parents are making a great sacrifice in interfering as much as they are to guide you. That annoys me quite a bit, especially since it feels like I'm the one doing their dirty work. Yeah, seems like they're giving up a lot. They are. They wish not to do such things to a sapient, but you were chosen for this, and if you listen to their advice, things will be much easier. Lion Wing, I haven't played that game yet. I don't really know too much about that character. I still haven't played Kemiya yet. I shake my imaginary head. Yeah, fine, but I'll warn Alex about what's going to happen to him. Give me your word that you're not going to allow him to be executed, and I'll do what they want. It is not my... Then fucking ask! The monitor raises a brow, then sighs heavily again, closing his eyes. Why do you want to help Alex? I don't understand. Like, Alex is going... Mark's being kind of an idiot right now. Like, I get where he's coming from. Like, he doesn't want to feel like he's a puppet. And I'm like, yeah, I get that, but why would you want to save Alex? Like, there's nothing good about Alex to me that would warrant me wanting to save his life. Everything he's done has been fake. The fact he tried to pretend he was friends with Marco was fake. Everything he's done is fake. There are a few seconds of silence before he opens them again. You have their word. Now continue your mission. I only have a moment to feel some surprise at how quickly they gave in before everything around me disappears. You prefer the monitor? Really? That's an interesting one. When I reappear, I'm back in the university, though I'm no longer in the hall. Instead, I'm standing next to Amicus. Our guide seems to be in the middle of giving instructions once again, this time about our upcoming departure. It takes a second to reorientate myself, and I'm a bit annoyed that I've been moved to a different time and place without my knowledge. How did that even happen? Again, the feeling of being a puppet come to mind. I haven't really played Tennis Ace either. I have to play more Tennis Ace. There's a lot of visual novels I have to play, but I'm actually going to talk about that at the end of the stream. There's some stuff going on that I wanted to discuss, but I figure I'll tell you at the end. I look over and see Alex standing quietly next to Cassius. If I had acted strangely in the time that's missing from my mind, there's no sign of that in the people standing around me. I'm still a little bit jarred by how quickly the parents agreed to my spontaneous demand. It makes me wonder if it had all been part of the plan. If the parents can sort of see into the future, I wouldn't put it past them to have set this all up. To make it seem as if Alex's life was in danger, and that they only took control of my voice so I'd have that thought process. Then, knowing I would only demand that the traitorous life be saved, it would lock me back into their plan. The parents only mean well. I quell my anger, knowing that showing my emotions now will only make me look unhinged to the others. I feel Amicus's light touch on my shoulder. Are you alright, Mark? Maybe I'm not doing such a good job of hiding my emotions. Yeah, I'm good. But Jarny raises his voice. Now, if that will be all, our ship is ready for departure. Ooh. We're going into space. The dragon feels his being loosen with relief following the human's departure. It only lasts a few seconds before he turns his irritation on the entities in the plane above him. That was excruciating. The void answers with silence. I know you're listening. If I were you, I'd consider answering at least some of his questions. I doubt this will be the last time he tries this. I'm sure you do, but your failure to keep him safe during his previous directive has left him full of mistrust, and rightfully so, I might add. Yes, you only mean well, but my own patience wears thin when I'm made to involve other sapients in your games. Oh, I am fully loyal to you and the plan. I'm simply warning you that next time I will not vouch for your benevolence. But consider revealing more to your children rather than just relying on blind faith and obedience. Mm. So the monitor even is a little unsure of the parents. Interesting. The ship we fly on is larger and less agile compared to the one that Amicus uses. It's clunky, and I worry a bit as it takes off. The vibrations and noises making me feel like it's about to break apart in midair. None of the others seem concerned, though. Neferu using the time to fall asleep while Virginia seems glued to her tablet. Amicus sits across from me in his own seat, though there isn't much chance for conversation with how loud the aircraft is. He simply reaches across the aisle towards me, and our fingers brush briefly before he pulls back and also closes his eyes to get some sleep before landing. Though I try to do the same, it's difficult with how bumpy the journey is, and the one window I can see only shows a gray, overcast atmosphere. So, I just sit back and wait. It's not technically a long journey, but because of how uncomfortable it is, almost feels as long as my flight to Rome had been. Maybe a little more than an hour later, we're alerted by comm to brace for our landing. As the rumbling doubles, I wonder for a moment if accidents are common occurrences on Adastra. But then the shuddering interior of the craft comes to a sudden halt as our landing is surprisingly smooth. I follow everyone's lead as they undo their safety harnesses, managing to figure it out before Amicus has to help me. I'm ready for him to take my hand, reaching up halfway. Then I remember our conversation about not showing affection in public, and I drop it back to my side. Ooh. As we exit the aircraft, I'm greeted to that gray, overcast sky along with jagged, snow-capped mountains. Compared with the lush green fields and forests near Adastra City, the scenery surrounding Lux is about as bleak as I expected. What I'm struck by most, however, is just how cold it is when we exit the aircraft. It's probably above freezing, but with how little clothing I have on, I gasp at the sudden change in temperature. I hear Amicus move up behind me.
Did you sleep well?
Not really, Amicus. I need more clothing than us. The wolf seems confused at first, looking at me with furrowed brows.
What's wrong?
It's too cold. I need something covering my legs and arms. I notice the others looking over at me, and I feel myself getting a bit red. It's strange that I should feel embarrassed about being underprepared like this when I know nothing about the place we were going. But there's something about me being naturally weak as a human that makes me self-conscious. It does look like Rome. I do agree with you. I get a very heavy... but then again, this game has a lot of very, very Roman architecture vibes to it, so I'm not too surprised. I like the snowy mountains, though. It's nice to see a different environment. As far as I know, every sibling is equipped with fur that makes an environment like this one no problem for them to withstand. I shiver, and that's when Amicus finally seems to understand.
Oh, yes, let's get you to a tailor. Should be one around here, even if it is Lux.
What seems to be the issue, Amicus? Virginia looks as annoyed and impatient as usual, and right now I wish I hadn't said anything, despite the fact that, judging by how cold it is during the day, I'll be dead during the night if I don't put on more layers.
Mark needs extra clothing for the weather. He's already shivering.
Virginia examines me as if looking for a reason to become furious with Amicus again, but seems to decide this is something even she hadn't foreseen.
Of course. I imagine a lack of fur would be a hindrance in such a climate.
What seems to be the holdup? Is something wrong with the human again?
Oh, Cassius, my favorite character in Adastra. Oh, I love Cassius. He's so great and totally not annoying at all. Cassius shouldn't have the power to embarrass me at this point, but I'm more aware of how I look now that I'm part of an official delegation. But that's when I feel someone stand next to me, and I look up to see Neferu. Actually, I too am very nearly freezing.
Really? You have fur, Neferu?
Yes, I've noticed, but it is much, much shorter than yours. Though I can tell Neferu is trying to make me feel less self-conscious, I can see that his body is also shivering slightly, and I can hear it in his voice too.
Not a problem. We'll escort the two of you to a tailor. A curfew was imposed on the city in preparation for the visit, thus it should not be a problem. In fact, it's best to do it now while you make your arrival speech, Amicus. The others will not need to be present for it after all, aside from Cassius. Are you escorting them then? I was thinking the Chemian ambassador Adastra might be able to do that. He needs to become more familiar with his fellow Chemian anyway. Where I'm here. Sorry for being late. Misplaced my damn my medication, I mean.
A deep, gruff voice comes from up the trail to the landing site, and I look to see a new creature. Well, not completely new. Despite not having heard the voice before, I do recognize the Wolverine. I'd seen him at the university about a month ago, but only for a few seconds. Lion, what character is making your heart beat that hard? I'm curious, what character is making your heart beat like that? Nephru seems to be familiar with him now. Brunus, I was wondering if you'd been dragged to the little outing of ours.
Of course I was. I'm not doing much else on this damn moon after all. Fantastic. Brunus shall be your escort. Escort for what? These two need a tailor. I don't know where the hell that...
Oh my gosh.
Moving on.
The large bear makes brisk come-on gestures to the rest of the group. Amicus looks unsure of what to do, but I give him a reassuring smile. I'll be fine. See you in a bit after your speech, okay?
Alright. Sorry for not thinking ahead.
I don't think any of us did. I'll see you again soon. Despite our talk earlier about PDA, Amicus pulls me into a quick hug before letting go.
Okay, I trust you are in good hands. Love you.
Love you too. Aww. Then the greater part of our delegation heads up another trail towards a smaller grouping of buildings away from the city. Oh, Brunus is from Kemia? Okay. Like I said, I'll play Kemia probably after this, because I don't know if the updates have been if the latest updates have been any hint towards Interea, this probably won't get updated again for another few months. At least the public update won't be for another few months. So, I'll probably play Kemia. There's a few games I still want to play, and a few other things coming up though too.
What the hell? I don't know where anything in this city is except the restaurant I went to for lunch. And by the way, it was the blandest meal I've ever had. And since when did I become an escort service? I'm the goddamn Chemian ambassador of Adastra. Looks pretty suspect when they shove off the two Chemians and abandoned alien right at the get-go.
Manners, Brunus. You haven't introduced yourself to Mark, the abandoned alien.
Really, Nephru? You're freezing your ass off, and so is he. I think his lips are turning blue.
The Wolverine's much less formal style has me feeling much more comfortable in his presence, compared to most others I meet on this moon. Hello, I have to think for a moment since I'm so used to being referred to as a pet. The Emperor's companion.
Nice meeting you. You already heard who I am, eh? Anyway, let's get you some warmth.
Mark, do you need to find shelter? You look to be on the verge of hypothermia. I shake my head as I stomp my sandal-clad feet. I'll be good once we start moving.
Right, let's get a move on then.
I do start to feel a bit better as I copy the quick pace of my two furry companions, feeling more numb than cold as we enter the seemingly deserted city. Meanwhile, the two banter ahead of me.
So, why the hell did you show up here without a heat source, Neff?
I had other matters on my mind, Brunus.
Probably not now, eh?
I assume you have drones. I'd rather not wear woven fashion.
Of course I do. Wouldn't want to ruin your pretty looks, would we?
Drones? Brunus glances back at me.
Yeah, I know they wanted us to take you to a tailor or something, but Chemian climate drones let you control your own temperature and such.
Oh, I didn't even think such technology existed. All I saw at the palace was a central climate control.
We could get you clothes if you prefer that. Doubt the tailor would know how the hell to dress you, though.
I know he did. He actually said the word furry. Mark is simply not used to such tech. He's only been exposed to the woven way of culture.
Shame. Well, we'll show you the ways of Chemian comfort in a bit. Just gotta go get them from the flat they stuck me in.
Where did they stick you, by the way?
Believe it or not, I think it was a hostel. They cleared out a bunch of wolves right when I arrived.
Seems a bit crude.
The entire city is, even by Adastran standards. Pretty sure I walked by a fucking public whipping before curfew kicked in.
That makes me feel a bit on edge. While it doesn't surprise me, I've been sheltered by the Plalas since I got here, as much as it could be called a shelter anyway. But I've never really been exposed to the Wolfen way of culture. Brunus lowers his voice.
I mean, they're practically barbarians, Neferu.
Don't say that, Brunus. Besides, this area's particularly disadvantaged politically and economically. Neferu's tone is quiet but stern.
I know. It's just weird seeing it in person, you know.
You also seem to keep forgetting that the Emperor's companion is with us. Brunus looks back at me.
Oh, yeah, sorry, you're with the Wolf Emperor, right?
I wonder what it means by with, but I assume it's a lot considering it's a fairly common knowledge. I clear my throat. Yeah, but you don't have to censor yourself in front of me. Brunus laughs.
Well, it is my job to be delicate in front of important people, and I would consider you to be just that.
I haven't known you for very long, Brunus, but delicate isn't how I describe anything you do.
Why's that, Neferu?
Because you're so... Neferu waves a paw lazily in Brunus's general direction. Well, you.
What, 'cause I don't do things the traditional way? I did go to Sci-FI, just like you, Neferu. I'm pretty sure I got higher marks, too.
Academia isn't quite the same as real-world application.
Yeah, and I've led a few dozen negotiations that resulted in some of the most important galactic treaties being signed.
The conversation sudden turn from friendly to tense is a bit jarring. It's clearly about a lot more than Brunus's delicacy, and I wonder if this was already a point of contention between them. Oh, Grizzly, hello there. You seem so familiar. I recognize you, but I kind of remember you. Sorry, everybody. Can you hear me clackety, clackety, clackety? Somebody sent me a message. Oh, gosh. Oh! Here we go. But as important as this... Brunus is quiet for a moment.
You think your brother's trying to fuck this up for you, huh?
I kind of wish we'd just gone to a tailor. I thought it was you. Hi, Grizzlewolf. How you doing? It's been a long time since we talked. How are you doing? Excuse me, everyone. Being inside someplace warm while being fussed over by another wolf is preferable to being alone with these two bickering Chemians. I did not say...
Oh, you said it. You've more than said it. If you don't think I'm fit for the job, then just tell your boss. I'll gladly resign.
Did you not want this job?
I want it. I've trained my whole entire life for it. But my own fellow Chemian doesn't want me here, then it's a piss poor start, don't you think?
The silence really drags on now as we turn onto a street that's as empty as the rest. I occasionally catch the sight of wolves peering from windows or balconies, but they quickly disappear as soon as I look up. Haven't you been here a few months, Brunus? Seems like you two are only just meeting. I feel the awkward silence, wanting to make myself more a part of the conversation rather than being a reluctant eavesdropper.
Yeah, well, negotiations got delayed on the Chemia side, and then I got shipped out here to be part of this whole, I don't know, whatever the hell this is. It was the first time we've spoken in weeks.
We spoke through the portal several times, Brunus.
Wish you'd been a bit more blunt about how you felt about me.
I was simply asking a question. You're as informal as they come, and I just find it surprising that you were chosen.
Listen, Neferu.
Brunus turns to the jackal and we stop.
Yeah, I'm here for a reason. I'm a political statement. I'm a reminder, a scar for the wolves to think about while they negotiate.
And now that I'm focusing more on those scars and prosthetic arm, I'm suddenly realizing who this might be and where he might come from.
But I'm also damn good at my job, and I'll be honest when I say that you're not very good at yours.
Neferu noticeably blisters, which is what surprised me most about all of this. It is very, very hard to get under Neferu's skin. I can count on one hand the number of times I've seen it happen. I feel bad for Neferu, but he did provoke this argument, and I guess Chemians are supposed to be blunt.
So I'm here to help you and make this a success so that you're known for more than just getting your nuts cracked.
I see Neferu's ears lower even more.
Your brother might be an asshole, but he's not stupid enough to jeopardize the entire Galaxias just to make you more miserable.
After a few seconds, I see Neferu bring his expression to a more neutral state, though I see his eyes flick toward me for just a moment, probably wishing just as much as I do that I wasn't here.
I've got a vague idea of what's going on in your family, and I do think you got the shortest end of the stick, but that's not important here.
Try to lower your voice a bit, Brunus. We have spectators. Sure enough, woven heads have reappeared at windows and balcony ledges, many of them staring wide-eyed at all three of us.
Just know that I'm on your side, all right?
Yes, all right. Now let's move before you reveal more sensitive information to random passerby, shall we? Brunus turns and starts walking up the street again.
They wouldn't know what the hell we're talking about even if they could hear us, Neff.
Again, don't say such things.
I'm not saying they're stupid, just that they don't have the context to understand any of it. Hell, I'll bet the Emperor's companion is the same.
Brunus turns to me for confirmation. Well, I look around, deciding we're far enough away from watching wolves to not be heard. I know about the situation with the Alliance, that there are issues between Neferu and his family, and I was actually wondering. Although Brunus is looking at me, I can see his ears twitch lower with every word, just as Neferu's are coming up. I'm not intending to make him look foolish, but I don't want to be making the impression that I'm a clueless ape either. I've done that for far too long in this moon. Are you one of the Wolverines from Oh, here comes the funny words. Are you one of the Wolverines from Desherith? Sorry if I'm being too forward, but I know Chemians appreciate the style of conversation. Neferu side-eyes Brunus.
Yeah, actually, one of two still alive.
I'm sorry to hear that. It was a horrible thing that happened. Brunus shrugs.
Too young to remember much anyway. Surprised you know about it.
Sorry, I'm learning about politics and diplomacy and all of that still, so if I overstep boundaries, just let me know.
I appreciate it. Actually, I'd have thought that you would have learned about what happened on Dishurith from Adastrian history.
We seem to have finally reached the Wolverine's flat as we walk around to the back of a two-story building and towards a door that seems to lead down into a basement. I've supplemented it with Chemian recordings as well.
Well, good on ya.
We don't even enter the building as he rummages around in some metal crates right at the entrance before activating black, dome-shaped drones that float above us. I can already tell that they're far more advanced when compared to Adastrian drones, and I'm even more impressed when I feel a warm cone-like shape pour over me.
You can adjust the heat with commands from your lingua.
I watch Neferu as he seems to squirm in delight at the feeling of his own drone's worth. So, is this where we're gonna be staying? They both laugh.
No.
Oh, that's Neferu. That's Neferu. No, you'll have your own living space with the Emperor, likely far outside the city.
Oh shit, speaking of, I think Amicus's penguin match is gonna start soon. Let's pick up the pace and get to the amphitheater.
I feel the uneasiness return. Already? Don't we have meetings and speeches to do, or something? No, this is what the city cares about most. If Amicus beats their champion, their only desire for representation will be destroyed. I honestly hope that Amicus is willing to take a fall for our delegation. I'd rather it not happen at all.
Man, they like this kind of shit. I'd worry more about one of those famous looks routes happening while we're here.
The words don't offer much comfort as we make our way to the city center. The eyes of the peering wolves seem to follow us the entire way there. Ooh, what's gonna happen? Are we gonna have another fight? Uh-oh. Amicus stands in the middle of the amphitheater, still seething after Cassius' speech. By any other standard, it would have been a fine speech, something he himself would have been proud of if he'd been the one to give it. For Cassius, though, it was subpar at best. He'd certainly said what was needed to be said, but his usual fire and passion had been absent. While there are no large crowds due to the curfew, it was obvious the Luxians were aware of how lacking the speech had been. Even now, the Tremavers appear slightly perturbed, and Amicus closes his eyes in quiet frustration as he imagines the thousands of citizens listening to the speech in their homes. Still, Amicus knows that he won't be scalding his brother after all is said and done. Cass had not been himself since his poisoning, and Amicus had suspected that would and Amicus had suspected that what would be his first speech since that incident would not go well. Amicus also imagines that Cassius having to verbally pledge his support to him only made it more difficult for his younger brother. By now, the exhibition match is already upon him, and because of that uninspiring speech, Amicus realizes that he must lose his match if he's to quell the city of Rebellion's fury. As he warms up, stretching and practicing his stances, he watches his soon-to-be opponent do the same out of the corner of his eye. Ooh, hello, who is this? This is an much older wolf. The old wolf, who had been spying pleasantly off to the side for the duration of the introductory speeches, moves rather smoothly, and Amicus notes his unusual focus on kicks. It's not anything Amicus hasn't come up against in his past matches, and he has little doubt he can easily crush the old man if he caught him in a grapple. But that wolf is a hero, a champion in these lands. Amicus knows that the consequence of beating him in front of his own people might very well lead to a sudden unlawful end of the curfew, followed by a riot that would endanger the entire delegation. Amicus glances over to where said delegation is seated, and he's a bit startled to see Mark settling down to watch. While he would have preferred that his human not see this match, it still fills him with a burst of energy, intending to show him how physically capable he is. He does! I agree, he looks like a monk, I agree. Indeed, Amicus had shown him that plenty of times during their own physical encounters in the bedroom, but that required considerable restraint on his part. As Amicus straightens up, breathing evenly, the older wolf disrobes and finally steps forward to greet his emperor. Amicus already knows him to be Magister. Magister? Magister? Is that how you say it? Is that how you say it, Magister? Magister, the unusual name having been given to him later in life, indicative of his status amongst the people of Lux. Good day, His Imperial Highness. I am Magus, your chosen opponent for a friendly bout of Pengui. I would be honored if you were to join me in our proud and ancient sport, if you are ready, Your Majesty. Amicus nods his head as the old wolf bows low to the ground, sensing only a genuine feeling of goodwill from the other wolf.
Of course, Magus. Shall we assume our positions?
Ooh! A fight. This is going to be interesting. Magus answers by falling into an odd stance that seems to emphasize striking over grappling as Amicus squats low towards the ground. Their styles seem to be on opposite ends of the spectrum in Pengui techniques, but Amicus has dealt with such fighting styles in the past, especially from Kato. He doubts his wolf is able to match that warrior's speed and strength. Deciding to make the first move, Amicus rushes in for a tackle, knowing that a takedown would instantly turn the fight in his favor. While he still plans to throw the match, he needs to make it look good. Mark is watching after all, and maybe his powerful charge will let the old wolf know that his impending win is artificial. His muscles propel his bulk forward, and in the back of his mind, Amicus just slightly worries that it might accidentally end the match by crushing the old wolf. Ooh! His rush is brought to an instant jarring halt, the jolt emanating through his core before spreading out to his limbs, making him almost fold in half in midair. Pressure builds into his chest, then into his cheeks, which almost humorously swell up before his breath blasts from his muzzle so hard and fast that it makes his lips ripple. It only lasts a few seconds, but Amicus is at least able to understand that he'd been visually kicked in the stomach. So hard, in fact, that Magus' foot had very nearly disappeared into his belly. Somehow, his opponent doesn't budge in the least bit as he holds steady against Amicus' larger bulk, and finally the younger wolf comes back down to land on weak ankles. Amicus then folds up onto the floor of the amphitheater, deafening silence ringing in his ears as he heaves several times, wondering how he had been affected so badly despite being tensed and ready. He manages to keep calm, waiting for his breathing to return to normal, having experienced similar situations during his sparring matches with his father and then with Kato. In fact, not since Kato has he felt such breathless agony, but even he had never managed to land such a blow when Amicus had been prepared. The wolf tries not to look towards his delegation, pushing the knowledge from his mind that his human is watching. Finally, he begins to breathe normally and manages to pull himself back up to his feet, trying to muster back up his will to fight after having it knocked from him. The older wolf had been slowly moving back and forth in a half circle in front of Amicus, making himself look busy, clearly avoiding a possible grappling situation. The humiliation of the first blow warms Amicus' cheeks and ears, its memory leaving his belly feeling hollowed out. Maybe throwing the match isn't the best idea. Not after being down with such ease, and knowing this is being broadcast to all of Adastra. Amicus sets its expression to an iron mask of static readiness, this time waiting for the old wolf to come to him. Magus does so slowly, and the second he's within reach, his foot flies up again. Time slows for Amicus as his eyes flick to the sudden movement. The wolf knows he's not in the best shape, his training time having been completely swallowed up by Imperial duties. Still, some skills never left one's mind after learning them. He's reminded of this as muscle memory kicks in to catch the lightning-quick attack. Instinct takes full control and Amicus begins to prepare his next attack, one which will bring the fight to the ground where he knows he'll have a significant advantage. The man can kick, that's for certain, but even now, Amicus can feel his own muscles and strength overcoming anything the older wolf tries to bring against him. His foot is stuck and he isn't getting it free unless Amicus lets him. The younger wolf spots the one foot the other wolf is balanced on, preparing to sweep it from under. Time slows once more, but this time Amicus can't do much as the older wolf uses the support Amicus is giving him and swings up the other foot. Both of Amicus's paws are occupied. He can only watch as the foot sails his way. Amicus has just enough time to realize it's over when Amicus's vision flashes white, the footing whipping into his muzzle so hard and fast that it doesn't hurt at all. Indeed, a mumbling feeling is left behind as the younger wolf is stunned. Time is still slow, dragging out his defeat longer than he'd like. He has a moment to see his crown flash in the dull sunlight, Amicus deciding that it's rather appropriate for how badly he'd been beaten. Again, Amicus is hit with not just a wave of pain, but one of familiarity. Ooh. Oh my gosh, he lost? I mean, I knew he was supposed to lose anyway, but like, he tried and he lost. There's a difference when you try and you lose and when you actually try. Is this old wolf, is Magus gonna be like a big part of this? Cause that looked painful. That was an embarrassing defeat. Jeez, I mean, despite them always talking about how strong Amicus is, he seems to get his ass kicked a lot in the stories. The feeling of confusion followed by squinting at the sky. It had been a good while since he'd been knocked unconscious, and he doesn't miss the feeling. He does savor it for a moment, though, having enough sense to know that something humiliating is waiting for him on the other side of consciousness. Jeez. Yeah, Nivik KO. Seeing Magus, Amicus is reminded of what happened and he groans internally. It hadn't been a terribly embarrassing fight. It lasted about as long as an average match, though the kick at the beginning was certainly something that would be hard to live down. It would likely be replayed on the news channels over and over, similar to Neferu's clash with Kato. Sure, he could ban it, but that would only confirm him to be as humiliated as he feels right now. Alright, Grizzle, take care. I miss... yeah, but don't forget to message me, too. I miss talking to you. His made only worse as Magus approaches and kneels before him. Oh. Your Imperial Highness, are you alright? Amicus stares for a moment, trying to judge the other wolf's intentions. That's important now that he is sure to become a part of their delegation. But again, rather than seeing any malicious intent to further humiliate the younger wolf, Amicus only senses genuine feelings of respect. Quickly, the Emperor rights himself, taking the crown from the other man.
Thank you. Good spar, Magus. Indeed, your strength was quite formidable. I very nearly lost the match at the end there.
Amicus tries to smile through the after-match pleasantries, finally sparing a glance towards Mark. His expression is hard to read, but when he catches Amicus's eye, he gives him a smile. It's tight and concerned, but it still surprises the young wolf. It's as if trying to let Amicus know that it's okay he lost, that he's only concerned for his well-being. Still, he can't stop his muzzle from burning slightly even as he stretches a paw out towards the human, indicating he should join him in the amphitheater. I think a lot of people put Amicus in the top 3 of favorite furry males. I see Amicus' invitation to join him and quickly take my place by his side. Also, I'm gonna say this. I still don't like the new art, the new sprites in this. I like the old sprites. I don't know how to describe it. There's something about them that I don't like. What about you guys? Do you guys like the older ones or the new ones? I like the older sprites for Amicus. I like the older sprite for Amicus. I can tell that he's embarrassed right now. Of course he would be after what happened, but I'm just glad to see that he's mostly okay after the brutality of the fight. I know him well enough to keep my concern and affections in check for now, instead letting everyone play it off like nothing happened. The others followed me, introducing themselves one by one to the older wolf. While Virginia had watched the entirety of the fight with hardly any expression, I was a bit surprised to see Cassius lower his eyes when it became clear Amicus was losing. I assumed he might take pleasure in seeing his emperor brother get trounced, but he just seems to have been made uncomfortable by the whole thing. Meanwhile, Neferu had watched with an expression that seemed on the verge of disgust, while Brunus visibly cringed and shook his head throughout. As for me, I just feel relieved, weakness flooding through my limbs after the surge of adrenaline during the fight. It was a feeling of dread and terror that I have felt a few times, specifically when seeing Amicus and Kato fight. No, I don't know who the top two are, Lion. Would you like to tell me? It makes me wonder if I can ever watch another Pungi match again. Amicus places his heavy paw around my shoulders, grunting slightly as he pulls me into his side and fixes a tight smile on his face.
Anyway, we're glad to have you as part of our delegation, Magus.
Glad to be a part of it. I only regret that it was under such circumstances. Amicus shrugs his shoulders quickly.
If it was under the circumstances of friendly sport, then I am glad to have experienced it.
Well, General Bogo, yeah, I mean, here's something I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. Yesterday, I was doing a stream in one of the servers I'm in. I was streaming, there's a new visual novel called Komorebi. It is Clace's new visual novel. If you don't know who Clace is the creator of the Major Minor visual novel as well as Winds of Change. Well, anyway, they're working on new visual novels for to come out next year. They have a demo out now, though. And anyway, while we were playing that, I was playing through the demo with a group, which I might do on here. I'm curious to see if people would like to see me do that. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't really like it. I thought there's a lot of, I didn't really like it, but I mean, it has voice acting in it, so that's something. But, oh, Rannoch. I'm not surprised with Rannoch either. Rannoch's pretty, far beyond the world. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Rannoch's a pretty popular furry male right now, too. But, yeah, so, like, anyway, like, I was looking through the itch page for Adastra, and, like, I'm sorry, but some of the recent comments that are posted on the itch page for Adastra kind of made me laugh, and I was reading them out loud to, like, my friends, and I was like, why do you guys have to be this extra with it? Like, Adastra's I think Adastra's a good VN. I think it's fine. I don't think it's bad, and I don't think it's meh. I think it's good, but I guess I just wish that everybody would act like it's the best visual novel that was ever made. I mean, if that's what you think, I guess that's your opinion. You're allowed to have that opinion. I'm not gonna take that opinion away from you, but I personally don't think it's as great as people make it out to be. And I understand a lot of people have Amicus, and that's a big reason, but I don't know. I'm not gonna make this into a rant, because it is what it is. If you like it, if you like Adastra, if you think it's one of the best VNs, then, you know, fine. You can feel that way. I don't think it personally is. I think it's good. I think I gave it like a 7.5 out of 10 rating when I played through it, which to me is good, not great. Great to me would be an 8 or higher. Good would be like a 6 to 8. So, like, it's good to me, but it's not great. That's fine. I like it, and that's fine too. I do think Adastra is good to play through at least once or nothing else. The world has some interesting ideas and concepts. Yeah. How from Winds of Change? I know like nothing about Winds of Change. I'm kind of curious what that character looks like. Really, you like Familiar Travels more? General Boga, I think you're gonna cause people to fight. I am surprised. Huh. You like Familiar Travels better. Okay. That's interesting. We're getting some interesting opinions here. Interesting. That's very interesting. But yeah. Komorebi is from, like I said, it's from Clace. I'm thinking about playing through the demo. The demo is long though. I would probably stream it. It is, I think it's estimated to be between like 2 to 3 hours. It's a long demo. But like I said, most of it's already voice acted, so I don't really have to do anything. Excuse me. So I was thinking about playing the demo for that, and I also want to get back to Changeling Tale, and then work on some other stuff. But yeah, just thought it was something interesting that you'd like to hear, General Bogo. Indeed. Magus smiles pleasantly, and despite his brutality in Pengu, reminding me of Kato, he doesn't seem anything like that old wolf.
Indeed, luckily the itinerary anticipated your inclusion, thus plans should remain the same. Would you like to go over the schedule with me?
Oh, definitely.
I trust that you remember the way to the Villa Amicus. The drones have been instructed to keep anyone from following you and your companion.
Of course. Thank you again for the bout, Magus. I look forward to a more formal meeting tomorrow. Amicus nods his head at Magus, and I take that as my cue to bow to the old wolf. He responds by making sure to bow lower than me. Yes, until then, Your Highness and his companion. With that, the formalities seem to end, and I feel Amicus staring me toward one of the exits to the city square. After we pass through a few archways along with a few more eyes peering from windows, we emerge into the outskirts of Lux. The cold gray walls give way almost instantly to the rolling hills and jagged mountains of the tundra beyond. I feel Amicus practically deflate against me, and I feel a wave of sympathy from my wolf. Oh my gosh! Oh, I wish Unagi was here. I gotta save this. Anyway, I've been playing Far Beyond the World with a friend of mine called Unagi, who has his own visual novel he's working on, and our joke is that in so many furry VNs where a wolf is a romance option, the main characters say "my wolf" a lot. So I gotta share that with them. Oh my gosh! Oh, hey Tendo, how are you doing? I definitely gotta share this with them. I feel Amicus practically deflate against me, and I feel a wave of sympathy for my wolf as I realize how much that fight must be weighing on his mind. I raise a hand to touch his bulky, furry arm that's already around me, not saying anything for now, waiting for him to talk if he wants to. He grunts again, rubbing my arm.
Well, aren't you nice and warm?
He turns his eyes up towards the drone above me.
Chemian tech, huh?
Yeah, that Ambassador Brunis gave it to me.
Ah, yes, he's an impeccable man. Was your time with him pleasant?
I shrug. It was alright. Not much going on considering the city is basically a ghost town.
Yes, they're rather strict with their curfews and such. It's the product of being such a rebellious city.
I see. We walk in silence for a few minutes, and I look ahead to the neat layout of the villa at the end of the trail, maybe a mile outside the city gates. Around us are a few other isolated buildings and trails, maybe something what looks like a farm, though I have no idea what they might grow up here. I took one too, but thank you, Lion Wing. Still, I can't see anyone else around us. As it becomes clear Amicus isn't going to say anything, I give in. So, are you feeling okay? Should we have a doctor look at your head? I focus on Amicus' physical condition rather than on the state of his pride.
No, of course not. Just a bit sore here and there.
Okay, that's good, I guess. It's quiet again, then Amicus sighs.
I'm sorry.
I sigh as well. For what?
For my failure in combat. I underestimated my opponent, but I promised to become stronger in the future.
But why are you apologizing to me?
Because as your partner, your future husband, I not only embarrass myself in these situations, but I risk doing the same to you.
I absorb that, keeping my frustration at those words in check. Amicus, I'm not embarrassed. I was terrified for you, and now I'm relieved that you seem to be okay, and that it's over. That's all I feel right now.
You must be at least slightly embarrassed for me, no?
No. This time Amicus sighs of frustration.
Sometimes I think you only say things because it's the correct thing to say in your culture. You emphasize me being an individual and dismiss your own feelings as unimportant.
Boom! Oh my gosh, Amicus, you actually said something that I completely agree with. Thank you, Amicus, for saying one of the big things I have an issue with Marco in Adastra. Marco is a very big yes man. I mean, at times he disagrees, but most times he likes to always, he really tries hard to avoid conflict, even if it means he's not being honest with people. Yes, thank you, Amicus, for saying this. I'm gonna save this. Because that is a big, big thing that I'm going to post in the server that I'm in. I stay quiet.
Mark,
Yes?
do you have anything to say to that?
I don't know. I'm just not sure what to say.
Is what I just said that bad?
Maybe it just feels like you're dismissing my own feelings for now. How, Mark, shut up! How is he dismissing your feelings? He literally... Okay, Mark is literally the person like, nah, you... Mark right now is literally being like, nah, you are. Like, Amicus like, hey, like, I really wish you'd be honest with me and tell me how you really feel about something. I think you just say things to just agree with me so I don't feel bad. And then the main protagonist is literally going to try to wrap around the conversation saying like, oh, no, I'm just mad at you because you're dismissing my own feelings. Like, what logic? That makes no... Oh, I hate... This is an argument for no reason. Like, this is literally if Mark would have just been... If Mark would have just been honest right now and said, like, yeah, I was a little embarrassed, but I'm happy that you're okay. I think Amicus would have been a little, like, frustrated, but I think he would have been a lot less. He'd have been like, oh, he's like, you know, I'll do better next time. And that would have been it. No, because this pisses me off, because I really... Marco's an idiot. Marco's a freaking idiot right now.
How so?
By accusing me of things because of my culture, not because it's how I actually feel. Because it's not how you actually feel, Mark! Like, he's not wrong! Oh my gosh, I'm saving these screenshots. I'm getting mad. Watching you fight, it was almost as bad as watching this fight you had with Kato. I couldn't care less about being embarrassed right now.
Oh, well, you know the situation is completely different.
Yeah. Our conversation seems to end there, the villa only a few minutes away now. I'm okay with letting it go. Too tired to argue right now. Amicus squeezes me to his side again.
Well, listen. The hard part is over here in Lux. Over the next 2 days, we can do whatever we like.
I sure will, Lion. I feel like I heard Amicus say that more than a few times, and it always seems to not quite work out that way. You sure some of your duties won't pop up?
Here and there, but I've arranged for them to call me through my portal, as much as I struggle to use one.
Do you have things planned?
Yes, tomorrow we visit the famous natural springs in the mountains. Just us two.
That does sound kind of nice. Alright.
And Mark, I'm sorry again. I'm simply sulking after being beaten so badly. I'm not going to ruin this trip.
I look up at my wolf, letting the hurt I felt a few minutes ago fade into the background. I'll hold you to it. For now, I assume there's a bath in the villa. Then maybe I can give you a massage like old times?
Oh, well...
The wolf rubs his stomach.
Definitely wouldn't mind that right now.
It's a date then.
Indeed.
Amicus stops at the door of the villa, then leans in to kiss me, and we kiss for a long time, with no prying eyes around to disturb us. Oh, I don't feel as, like, all about that, though, because there was, like, you guys should really talk about this, and it was, like, oh, to be continued. That was short. I hate the main character. I wish he would be honest with his feelings. Well, that was short. Only about an hour stream. I thought it'd be almost 2 hours. Well, people, this is it. Before I go, I did want to really let something known. I'm going to tell you now, this is personal stuff, so if you really don't care and you just wanted sexy wolves, that's fine, and I'll see you next time. But for the people that want to stay for a minute, this week I'm going to see what I can do. I'm going to try to stream Changeling Tale again, as well as post a new video up for, Condemned Criminal Origins, which I haven't played in a while. Besides that, I don't really have anything planned. I'm currently, for people that have seen these videos, I have been playing a new VN called No More Future, which is made by a fantastic creator named Sedge. I'm going to probably be doing something with that either this weekend or next week. Sorry. But yeah, I've been really enjoying, like I said, I've really been enjoying this VN visual novel. I don't like what just happened with Marco and Amicus' relationship, but I'm sure that, I can discuss that with other people in private. But, yeah, lately I wanted to apologize for the lack of content. Let it go. I did let it go. I'm over it. It's whatever. It's whatever to me, like, you know. But I did want to say, that I apologize for the lack of content that I've been publishing the last about 2 weeks. I've been really kind of moody lately. I've been feeling a little depressed, and I've been feeling... This is why, like, you know, I've been feeling pretty moody lately, and just in general, I haven't been feeling as good as I would like. One of the things that affected me a lot was the fact of what happened to my YouTube channel. The fact I still have the strike on my channel, I think it's been very upsetting. But besides that, I've just been dealing with... Sure thing. Why am I? No problem. But like, yeah, I've just been feeling kind of down lately, and it's been hard to struggle to make content, and lately, with the way YouTube's algorithm is and the way my videos have really been struggling to get any sort of views, it's been starting to feel like that YouTube is not becoming as fun as it used to be for me. I still want to do this thing, but it's just been harder to like feel motivation to make YouTube videos. That, along with just generally just personal stuff, and starting to feel like that maybe I'm not really as good at things as I thought I was. And, you know, that's fine. You know, voice acting, I mean, I enjoy voice acting, and I enjoy making videos. So that's been stuff on my mind, but I apologize for that. Just been feeling kind of down lately, but I will try to get some content out later this week. I will do my best, and if anything changes, I will let people know. I will post in my community tab, which if you subscribe to me, you can see my community tab, everyone. But thank you for being understanding, and with that being said, this was an enjoyable episode for the most part. It was F short, and I hope that everybody has a lovely day, and with that being said, this has been a Fallenwolf, and I'll see all of you next time. Take care of yourselves until the next time we enter the beautiful world of Adastra. Bye!